In my last parish, which was in Manhattan, I was walking between our rectory around the corner to the church, and a young man stopped me. He was a delivery man, and he said, "Are you a priest?" I just love it when people ask me that question. Well, I don't say it so much now. I did when I was in the city. Very naughty of me. I would say, "No, but I play one on television." And then, of course, I tell him that I am a priest. And he says, "Oh, well, then you can answer this question for me." He says, in the story of creation, what happened to the other woman? I said, "What?" Adam and Eve. I mean, you've read the story, right? Adam and Eve. He says, yes. But there was another woman created before. And this would have thrown me off years ago, but the book of Genesis has two creation stories. The first creation story is in chapter 1, and it goes all the way up to chapter 2, verse 4. The second creation story is in chapter 2. The first creation story was probably written during the Babylonian captivity, when the Jews were being subjugated and they thought that they were worthless. And the Babylonians had their own creation story, and it was full of wars and armies and fights and struggles. And so God reveals to his people that he created not with war and struggle and strife, but he simply said, "Let it be." And it was so. And everything he created was good. In the second creation story, which we're starting to read here today, we have at the time when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, while as yet there was no field shrub on the earth and no grass. So God is creating, but this is a different story. The first story, written during the Babylonian captivity, is creation out of nothing. Ex nihilo, as they say in Latin. God created everything out of nothing. In the second story, which was written much earlier, when the Israelites were doing really well, when they were not at war, when they were not a defeated people, this is the creation story. In this creation story, God is taking what is already there and he's bringing it together and ordering it, putting it into proper relationship, into proper order. And so, God creates man, but this time he creates him out of a lump of clay. He basically picks up some dirt and breathes life into it. The message to the Israelites when this story was written was, without God, you're just a lump of clay. If you turn away from the Lord, if you renounce your relationship to God, you're going back to clay. There's nothing there for you. How very different when the Jews are a persecuted, defeated people. God lets them know that he loves them and that they're good. When the Israelites are not in any difficulty and they're forgetting God, God tells them the story of creation, but this time he lets them know, yes, you are very good and you are loved, but if you turn away from me, then there's nothing left for you. What this young man was alluding to was in, we're going to read this on tomorrow, Thursday, is the creation of woman out of man's side. And so you see, if you are a literal reader of the Bible, as opposed to a literary reader of the Bible, you say, well, Adam is in both stories, but in the second story you have Eve. So who was that first woman? And some people say, oh, it was Lilith, and she didn't want to live and let Adam be in charge. And so, she got thrown out of the garden. And that's just a bunch of nonsense. What happens is we have two different creation accounts written at two different times to two different people in two different situations, and it addresses where they are. There is, in the Bible, a third creation account. It is written after Jesus, after his life, death, resurrection, and ascension into heaven. It is in John's gospel. And John starts not with the creation, but before everything was created. He says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Written at a different time, to different people. God is still the creator, and he is letting us know this. But there is more of the picture. So we need to read our Bibles. We need to read our Bibles carefully. We need to read our Bibles in context so that we can know the truth, the great, wonderful truth of God's message.